Following a demo we did the other day about editing in Adaptable, our AG grid extension, we received a couple of questions about whether you're able to validate the edits that you provide. And the short answer is yes, you can. Adaptable provides validation. In fact, it provides three types of validation. What we call pre-edit validation, where you set rules which define whether a cell can be edited. And then we have client and server validation, both of which take place on cells which have been edited. One, as the name implies, on the client, and the other allows you to kind of do that on the server. So we'll look at all three of these quickly. Each of these could be a demo in its own right, so please go to our demo site and kind of look for more. But we have here a demo. Let me go full screen and let me show the code. And this shows all three of those. So the first one is this function here called isCellEditable in edit options. And this allows you, the developer, to define whether a cell is editable. And in this demo, we show all three types of validation, and we do all three on the language column. And this first example, essentially the code says if the language is HTML, return false. So essentially you can't edit any cell in a language column which is HTML. We can see that I can change this one, but I can't edit this one. And in fact, if I change this one to HTML, I'm now no longer able to edit that. So essentially you, the developer, provide a function which defines whether a cell can be edited. So that's what we call pre-edit validation. And we can also provide post-edit validation. And the first way is through an alert, actually. It's a special type of an alert which has a behavior of prevent edit. And essentially what you can do is you can provide a rule, and if the change meets that rule, Adaptable will, as it says here, prevent the edit. So it won't allow essentially the edit to happen. So let's take a look at that. You can see here we've made it an error and we provide some text. So if I now change JavaScript here to Python, immediately it doesn't allow it. It says you can't change the language, and I can see details of what happened. So that's a special type of alert called a prevent edit alert, a validation alert. And the nice thing about it is because it's alert, you're obviously able to change it as you want. So we can see here, we can see the details, and you can edit it at runtime and you can create others. The final type of validation is what we call server validation. Now in the real world, what this will do is this will go to your server, it will probably perform some validation, it might do a lookup, etc. Because we don't have a server component, we're not able to show that fully, but in this example we mock it. So essentially we say here, let me find the code, which is here. We provide two rules, and the nice thing about server validation is you can either say yes and you can allow the edit, you can say no, in which case you roll back the edit, you basically make the new value the old value, or indeed you can provide a different value. And we've got two rules here. The first says if I do jQuery, don't allow it and provide the old value. So we can see here, if we change this to jQuery, the edit happens, it goes to the server, it comes back and it says you can't do it, and you can see it undoes it automatically. And then this other rule says if we use C, then change it to C#, for ridiculous reasons. So if I make this C, as soon as I press enter, it calls this function, and then the function returns C#, which is then used instead. So there we are. They're the three types of validation in Adaptable. One, to prevent an edit taking place. A second, to use an alert to immediately undo the edit. And the third, what we call server validation, which allows you to go off externally and then come back either with a yes, no, or a different value. As always, thank you for watching. If you'd like to know more about Adaptable, we'll be happy to give you a personalised one-to-one demo, or indeed a free no obligation trial license, so you can try out validation and everything else in Adaptable using your own data and use cases. Thank you for watching.